Do you know that there are over 450 different Bible translations available today? Join me as I dive into the world of Bible versions and challenge you to find the one that's right for you. Let's talk about it. All praise to the Most High Yah Shalom. Thank you for tuning in to another righteous, spirit-filled episode. Today I'm back at it in them trenches, handling that kingdom business. With so many Bible versions available, it can be overwhelming to choose the right one for your spiritual journey. In this video, we'll explore the difference between popular Bible translations such as the King James Version, New International Version, New American Standard Bible, and more. We'll discuss the pros and cons of each version, helping you make an informed decision about which Bible is best for you. Whether you're a new believer or a seasoned believer, this video will provide you with the insight you will need to choose the Bible that suits your reading style and deepens your understanding of Yahweh's word. But before we get into that, I need to talk to you about commitment issues, because maybe you don't even realize that you have commitment issues. According to a cross-cultural study, 57% of people between the ages of 25 and 54 have commitment issues. Why is this? Well, just like you know, millions of people tune in daily to watch free content on YouTube. And you've been watching this video for almost 2 minutes now, and you've yet to hit that like button. So what I need you to do to prove that you don't have commitment issues is smash that like button. You know, consider subscribing to the channel. If you subscribe to the channel, turn your notifications on and set them to all notifications so you can see when I'm dropping new content. Lastly, drop me a comment down below letting me know where you are watching this video from. I thank you for your views. I thank you for your likes. I thank you for your subscriptions and all the support. The Bible was originally called the Hebrew Scriptures or Scrolls. The Hebrew name for the New Testament is Habrit HaKodashah, which translate to New Covenant. Habrit HaKodashah is a modern Hebrew term for New Testament. The Hebrew Bible, also known as the Tanakh, does not distinguish between Old and New Testament. The Tanakh is made up of 3 main sections: the Torah, the Nevi'im, and the Ketuvim. In today's video, I hope to give you a, in-depth breakdown of 9 popular, Bible versions to help you understand which one is going to be right for you based upon the information that I give you, because all Bible versions are not created equal. All of them are not created in the spirit of the Most High Yah, and there is definitely some inserted biases in there by the authors, which I'll talk about. So when we read 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15, it says, "Study to show thyself approved unto Yah, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth." This is very important in your journey of selecting a Bible. Man, there are Bible versions out there, especially in Western culture. Man, they read like butter. Man, they read so smooth, but there's a lot of missing information scripturally that these Bibles have pretty much omitted or removed. And I'll get into that later on in the video. But first and foremost, man, I want to tell you the difference between reading and studying the Bible, because what you have is you have a lot of people that are simply reading the Bible, using a dictionary, and never are arriving at understanding. You have people out there that have high titles in religion, in different religions, and they are only experienced in reading the Bible. When it comes to actually studying the Bible, they don't have any experience because they're not even using, proper study methods, which I'll talk about. Reading is the act of understanding written words, while studying is the act of learning about a subject. Studying is an active process that involves more than just reading and rereading notes. It involves searching for other relevant material, investigating the accuracy of information, asking questions, trying to understand how and why, and coming to conclusions about the content. Studying is a key that helps build knowledge and understanding of the subject area. It can be used in education and everyday life. When you think about that, there are certain questions in study that you must ask. If you don't know what has been omitted or removed from the book, how can you ever ask the question of why was that removed? Why did, this person that belonged to this religion or faith or denomination choose to translate it in this manner when in fact the manuscript did not speak to it in that context? Okay, so that's understanding the how and why. When it comes to proper study, there's certain tools that you are going to need. A Bible on its own is only going to do you so much good in the level of understanding that you will have. A lexicon is crucial for studying the Bible because it provides accurate definitions and nuanced meanings of words in the original Hebrew and Greek language, allowing for a deeper understanding of the text by revealing the cultural context and index meaning behind each word, rather than relying solely on a translation which may not capture all of the subtle meanings of the original language. So it's very important that when you are looking at the Biblia, modernly called the Bible, this is a Eastern book. It's not an Eastern book based upon the Eastern region of Rome as the community of Eastern Orthodox. No, it's an Eastern book of an agricultural, Hebraic people, a Semitic lineage people. That's who the commandments and everything that you're reading was given unto. That's who the Messiah, the Savior, came from. Those are his people. A lexicon refers to the entire vocabulary of a language or specific field, while a dictionary is a compiled list of words from a language, usually including definitions and often focusing on commonly used words. Why is this important? Because if you open up an English Bible and then pull out an English dictionary, you're never getting back to the understanding, the etymology of what the word meant in its original language. You're only getting a English, or a Western, understanding of, definitions based upon Western culture. And, studies say that, almost 15 to 17% of information is lost during translation. A concordance lists words used in the Bible and gives references to the instances they are used throughout the entire biblical text. A lexicon focuses on words definitions, while a concordance is focused on word location within a text. So it's very important that you understand those two and use those when you are studying, also to gain a deeper understanding of what the Most High Yah or Yahweh was speaking to when he was speaking through people in the book. Jeremiah chapter 8 verse 8. How do you say we are wise, and the law of the Lord is with us? Lo, certainly in vain made it the pen of the scribes in vain. The average person reading the Bible may have never come across this passage right here. And it's talking about the penmanship of the scribes being in vain, being worthless. Man, you truly have to be led of the Ruach, the Hakodesh, to be able to understand where that is. Everybody that reads, you got people that will spend 70, 80 years on this earth reading the Bible and will never understand where the vanity is. And the vanity is inserted by the translator, or the person translating the Bible. When they insert stuff into the text, this is where the vanity comes in, rather than trying to give a language, trying to translate into their language, but still hold true to the original etymology of the words. Writer's bias is when a writer's personal beliefs, experiences, or perspectives influence how they interpret and present the information. Biases in writing can be defined as a prejudice against something an author is writing about. This can affect how readers understand the information. I'll give you an example. If you have somebody that is a Christian who conforms to the world religion of Christianity, if they are interpreting anything biblical, they are going to interpret it through the lens of replacement theology or supersessionism. And that's not what the original manuscript, that's not what the Hebrew scrolls is actually written on behalf of. Bible version number 1, the NIV, the New International Version, published in 1978, started by businessman Howard Long. Okay, this Bible contains 66 books. But one thing to note about this Bible, this version of the Bible is it's missing roughly 16 Bible verses. That's Matthew 23:14, Matthew 17:21, Matthew 8:11, Mark 6:17, Mark 9:44, Mark 9:46, Mark 11:26, Mark 15:28, Luke 17:36, John 5:4, Acts 8:37, Acts 15:34, Acts 24:7, Acts 28:29, Romans 16:24. So if you didn't have that information, you would read this version never having a full context of what was. Bible version number 2, the NAB, the New American Bible, published in 1970, overseen by Father Stephen J. Hardigan, which was a Catholic, okay, contains 73 books. A lot of people don't know that the Catholic Bibles have a lot of the so-called missing books that your average church on the corner is not going to even know about or have understanding about. Okay, it contains 73 books. If you have a NIV, look up these verses, because these verses you're not going to find. John chapter 5:4, Matthew 23:14, Matthew 17:21, Matthew 18:11, Mark 7:16, Mark 9:44, Mark 9:46, Mark 11:26, Mark 15:28, Luke 17:36, John 5:4, Acts 8:37, Acts 15:34, Acts 24:7, Acts 28:29, Romans 16:24. These are Bible verses that have been removed. The NLT, which is the New Living Testament, published in 1996, started by the Tyndale House Foundation, contains 66 books. The New Living Translation of the Bible omits the following verses from the New Testament: Matthew 17:21, Matthew 18:11, Matthew 23:14, Mark 7:16, Mark 9:44 and 9:46, Mark 11:26, Mark 15:28, Luke 17:36. And you can even look into that one even more, and you'll find out that it's even missing possibly more Bible verses. Number 4, the New King James Version, published in 1982, started by Thomas Nelson, contains 66 books. Okay. Number 5, the ESV, English Standard Version, published in 2001, produced by the Crossway organization, contains 66 books. The English Standard Version is considered to be missing verses like Matthew 18:11, Matthew 23:14, Mark 7:16. One thing about this is what they do is they remove the verse. It'll jump over from like 9 to 11. And then what you'll see in the footnote is you'll see the author's interpretation of what that verse was, contrary to them just leaving it in the text. Bible version number 6, the AMP, the Amplified Bible, published in 1965, collaboration between the Zondervan and the Lockman Foundation, contains 66 books. The NRSV, Bible version number 7, the NRSV, the New Revised Standard Version, published 1989, curated by the Ecumenical Committee of about 30 theologians, contains 73 books. Okay, the New Revised Standard NRSV of the Bible omits some verses, including the last verse of the Lord's Prayer and the story of the woman taken in adultery. Matthew 6:13, John 8:1-2, Mark 16:9-20 gives account of the resurrection of the Messiah. Bible version number 8, the NASB, the New American Standard Bible, published in 1971, started by the Lockman Foundation, contains 66 books. The NASB is considered to be missing verses like Acts 8:37, 1 John 5:7, and in some editions, parts of Mark chapter 16, verse 9-20. Bible version number 8, the TLB, the Living Bible, published in 1971, written by Kenneth N. Taylor, contains 66 books. Bible version number 9, the King James Version, the KJV, published in the year 1611, written by King James Richard Bancroft, who is the Archbishop of Canterbury and committee of 47 scholars and clergymen. This Bible version, the 1611 KJV, contains 80 books. But what most people don't know that are operating in religion today that use the KJV is the version that they have is most likely the 66 book revised version of the KJV that was published in 1885, removing the Apocrypha books. Okay. The King James version of the Bible is missing verses also, like 16 verses from the New Testament, and people don't even know this. Matthew chapter 17, verse 21, Matthew 18:11, Matthew 23:14, Mark 7:16, Mark 9:44 and 9:46, Mark 11:26, Mark 15:28, Luke 17:36. So in today's video, I hope I gave you just some basic understanding of things that you need to be considering when you are looking for a Bible version for you. Just because it reads very well does not mean it's going to be accurate. There are a lot of Bible versions that are nothing more than great Bible, stories, but they don't give an accurate account, of what the Most High Yah was doing when he was speaking to those in which, he chose to use. It's very important that you understand the difference between studying and reading, going, in depth. And you don't get to this information that I presented to you today without studying, without, asking certain questions. How come, I recommend, you get starting off, if you are trying to seek the Most High Yah, just getting a version that you feel comfortable with. And then later on through your journey, if you want to get into actual Bible study, I would encourage you to get multiple versions and then lay them out and compare. If you cannot find a lexicon or a concordance to a doggone Bible, that's going to be like 95% of author's bias being inserted into the text. And it may not be a verbatim. There's a difference between verbatim and version. I didn't get into that, but before you go, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, check out the link in the description. And again, Closer to Yah Ministries, kicking it gun barrel straight.